Well, isn't this unexpected? Fancy meeting you here 2 days in a row. Yep, we're back at it again at Krispy Kreme, here to talk about all of the wonderful, magical, not at all overpriced games that were announced at yesterday's Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. I already did a video talking about the console, so if you want to learn more about that, you can click on the iCard in the corner. But for today, let's talk about the games that are coming to the Switch 2. Before we start though, I need to give an even bigger than usual thanks to Z. Z, who appears in my end credits, helps out with the channel quite a bit behind the scenes. And he actually recorded all of the direct footage and took notes on what he thought I'd need to know. It made the entire process so much easier, and it's the reason you're watching these videos. He's got his own channel, which you should definitely head on over to, after watching this video, of course. Anyway, that's squared away. But I mean, where do we even start? Look at everything that got announced. Look at it! It's so much and so unexpected. What should we cover first? Let's just wander and see where our hearts take us. Oh look, we've arrived at what will certainly be the Nintendo Switch 2's best-selling game, Mario Kart World. And I have to tell you, this is the first time I've been excited to play a Mario Kart game since the Wii. I'm not typically a big racing game fan, but this is an open-world kart exploration game that just so happens to have a bunch of racetracks all over it. You can wall jump, drive from track to track, roam the world. I think there was a cow driving at one point. This game looks positively nuts. With 24-player races, continent-spanning knockout tournaments, and lots of space to just wander and get lost, this game looks positively breathtaking. I'm genuinely thrilled to play it, and I am stoked that it launches with the console on June 5th. Now, am I $80 stoked? Let's just get the price stuff out of the way. Game prices are trending upward. They've been at $60 for years now, but prices for everything have gone up. Games are bigger and better now, and they simply cost more to make. So, on the one hand, I get it. But at the same time, this stings a lot more than the Switch 2's console price, because it's not just a one-time purchase. Unfortunately, every single time you buy a game on the Switch 2, you'll be getting less game for your dollar. The nexus for price to product is going to be different for everyone, but I don't think that the Switch 2 will be breaking the billion software sales record of the Nintendo Switch anytime soon. My 2 cents, it's very frustrating that Nintendo is breezing past the $70 mark and jumping straight for $80 on Mario Kart World. I hope they can find a better balance between affordability for the customer and sustainability for their mega corporation. Okay, let's call the price bit done. I could go on, but I had enough fun during the Direct that I'm ready to let it go for now. Let's get back to the games. Of the dozens of games talked about yesterday, a grand total of 8 were Nintendo Switch exclusive games. Just briefly, there are 3 that I genuinely don't care a single iota about. Dragon Drive is your ARMS or Splatoon of the Switch 2. It uses the new control scheme in a lightly competitive game. It looks like wheelchair basketball, which, is a neat concept for a video game, but watching how it controls, I don't want anything to do with it. Then we have Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which should just be a pack-in game? Does this even meet the minimum requirements for being a game that you play? It's just a digital tour of the console with a couple of built-in mini-games. The fact that Nintendo is going to charge for this would be hilarious if it weren't so stupid. But if you want, you can buy this the day the Switch launches too. Finally, at the bottom is Survival Kids. This just looks like another bog-standard survival game, but with colorful plastic graphics. I'm not big on survival games, so I'll pass on this one. Anyway, let's climb the ladder of interest. Kirby Air Riders got a teaser, and the best part about this game is that Sakurai is directing it. Masahiro Sakurai is the brains behind both Kirby and the Smash Bros. Series. He's a legend. I never played the original Kirby Air Ride, and like I said, I don't really care much for racing games, but if anything will get me to give a game a second look, then it just might be Sakurai's name on the cover. This one's dated for 2025. Next up is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, as you might know, but I don't really like the Warriors games. They're just a bit one note for my taste. They're definitely cool, and I like the idea of having spin-off prequel stories, but this game's probably just not for me. It's coming this winter though, if it is for you. Up the next rung is perhaps the biggest wildcard game of the show. From Software of Dark Souls and Elden Ring fame is developing a title exclusive to the Switch 2, The Dusk Bloods. I never played Bloodborne, but my Soulsmart friends tell me that this just looks like Bloodborne again, so that's neat. I must have missed the part where they showed off the Sekiro parry all 19 times I watched this trailer, but I'm sure it's in there. This one's not coming till next year though, so we'll have to wait on it, but I'm genuinely excited to give this a try, even though I've already gone through my Souls renaissance. Above the Duskbloods is the aforementioned Mario Kart World. The highest rung is dedicated to Donkey Kong Bonanza. This is a 3D platformer starring Donkey Kong that really seems to focus on destruction mechanics. I love a 3D platformer, and I've recently been spoiled by Astro Bot, so I'm itching for more. This one launches on July 17th, and I'm very excited to give it a try. But along with the Switch 2 exclusives, there's a handful of games slated to get Switch 2 upgrade packs. These are, well, they're hard to generalize, but they all provide native support for the Switch 2's unique features to original Switch games. There are 2 games launching as cross-gen games, with the basic version going to the original Switch and the upgraded version going to the Switch 2. Those are Pokemon Legends ZA and Metroid Prime 4. Legends ZA only lists that the Switch 2 edition will have improved performance, but Metroid Prime 4 has a whole bunch of features: high refresh rate, 4K support, mouse controls, HDR, and more. These 2 games make it seem like these Switch 2 upgrade packs are just little cash-ins for you to buy so that your Switch 1 games look and feel better on the Switch 2. But then you have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which looks like it's bundling its upgrade pack with 3 years overdue DLC. This game was a lot of fun, and I'm weirdly looking forward to playing some DLC for it a lot. I'd have bought the new story on its own if it was offered. Meanwhile, the 2 major 3D Zelda games of the Switch 1 had upgrade packs that are just performance patches and compatibility with an external game GPS app? Yeah, it's weird. I really don't know what to make of this whole system. I mean, I like that they're upgrading old games with new features and content, and they've also announced a list of games that are getting free, more minor performance patches for the Switch 2. But I'll be interested to see how much these upgrade packs cost, as well as how many are made going forward. It was one thing to do enhanced ports of Wii U games, since nobody owned a Wii U, but Switch games? I don't know. Next up, there were a whole bunch of AAA games from the past few years being announced for the Switch. I can't possibly talk about them all, but here's a few highlights from me. Elden Ring is an obvious choice, and it'll be great to have that one on the go for fans of the game, I imagine. Same goes for Final Fantasy VII Remake and especially Civ 7. Meanwhile, Cyberpunk 2077 strikes me as a particularly odd choice. What exactly is the power level of the Switch 2? Do you remember how poorly Cyberpunk performed when it launched 5 years ago? Sony and Microsoft took it off their digital storefront because it was such an atrocious game for those who bought it on their last-gen consoles. The PlayStation 4 couldn't handle the game, but the Switch 2 can? I'm a bit skeptical, but I hope to be proven wrong. Okay, this next one isn't a AAA game, but it was included in the AAA section, so here we go. Excitingly, the long-awaited Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 will be launching on the Switch 2 on launch day. I'm waiting until this game is fully complete before I play it, but I have to say that, from what I hear, it's turning out incredibly. Undertale is such a great experience, so I have a lot of creative trust in Toby Fox creating this follow-up. Oh, sorry, I'm just crying in Earthblade. The last 2 big ones from this section are Hades 2 and Split Fiction. I'm waiting for Hades 2 to be finished before playing it again, but it'll be as great a fit for the console as Hades was before it. Split Fiction, meanwhile, feels basically designed for the Switch format. It's a 2-player couch co-op 3D platformer. It's genuinely a perfect fit for the Switch 2. Now, amid all of these new games, we got a very exciting announcement. GameCube games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online. This was inevitable, but it's still pretty cool. These games are behind the expansion pack, but their inclusion makes the pack feel more worthwhile than ever, though how high that bar was for you may vary. Anyway, the most exciting games for me are The Wind Waker, Pokemon Colosseum, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Chibi Robo, and Luigi's Mansion. I realize that that's actually most of the games, but you know, it's still exciting. I love the GameCube. Not you though, Sunshine, you stay away from me. Alright, fantastic. The last little bit to go is the sizzle reel. There are lots of titles coming to the Switch 2 over the course of the next year or so, and the Direct showed off a bunch of them. I'll just touch on a handful of these, they really sped by. EA and 2K are bringing some major sports games over to the Switch. They're not normally my cup of tea, but my dad really liked the Madden games for Wii, so I'll be picking one of those up. A new James Bond project, currently titled Project 007, got teased, though nothing more was shared. Still, this could be pretty cool. Professor Layton and the World of Steam was announced years ago, but will finally be coming to the Switch 2 this year. I've never played a Professor Layton game before, but I'm actually interested to try this one. Chucklefish is making a potion brewing life sim game called Witchbrook this winter. If you've watched the Animal Crossing video, you know I have a soft spot for these kinds of games. Plus, it's got cute pixel art. Who doesn't love cute pixel art? And that's about it. Wait a minute. I feel like I missed something. Was it Duskblood's Sekiro parry again? Oh no, I almost forgot. Hollow Knight Silksong was here. Well, just about anyway. Yes, the long awaited sequel to Hollow Knight graced us with about 6 seconds of gameplay that I'm pretty sure we've seen before, as well as a vague 2025 release date. Now, that does conflict with its 2023 release date, of course, so I don't yet know which one will be accurate. Personally, my money's on neither. I'll believe in a release date the day Silksong is released, and not a moment sooner. Overall, while there were a lot of fun and exciting announcements for upcoming games, I was surprised to see that Nintendo's 5 tentpole series were scarcely represented. The Legend of Zelda is getting its Switch 2 upgrade packs in a spin-off, Pokemon Legends ZA is still coming, but that's it. No word of a 3D Mario game, an Animal Crossing game, or a Smash Bros. Game. I wouldn't say that I'm disappointed by these absences. There are a lot of really cool games coming out this year. I guess I'm just a little curious as to why these series were absent. Animal Crossing is 5 years old now, certainly old enough for a sequel. Mario Odyssey will turn 8 this year, and Smash Ultimate will turn 7. It strikes me as odd that all of these enormous series would be absent from this reveal direct. Luckily, that's where your old friend Volky comes in. I've got a video pitching a new entry in each of these series coming next week. I've come up with titles, gameplay, and stories that I think would take each of these series in the right direction, and show that the Switch 2 would be home not just to the next generation of games, but the next generation of ideas. If that sounds cool to you, then get subscribed so you don't miss it. Until then, there's plenty of stuff to watch here on the channel. You can check out my video on the Switch 2's hardware from yesterday, or you can pop over to zsb.mp4 if you'd like. I know I'd appreciate it if you gave him a shout. But that's all I've got for you today, so enjoy your day and take care.